Greetings from the far side of the galaxy. I'm Fury, your host the most who's once more outsourcing my work to all of you. Recently, on my community page, I posted this: tell me your fave and least favorite character from Husamo. And here are your answers. And our first comment of the day is, Arc is my favorite for sure. I just love their story as well as their overall character. And anyone who wields a giant flaming chain is definitely awesome. Either them or Citri because of how I relate to the queer coding in his story. You've made a video about it, so I don't think I need to explain. Least favorite would be Gillenbursty. Just making him wear the boar instead of be the boar feels like a cop-out to me, and now I can't look at him without being reminded of that. Very based of you to choose Arc for that, and yeah, I agree. Their Sacred Artifact is one of the coolest in the game. Their 4-star art is amazing. Even the animation for their CS skill is dope as hell. And yeah, the thing about Gillenbursty is weird to me too. Husamo is usually so good about adapting the myths, but I don't know why they didn't just go ahead and actually make him an anthropomorphic boar. Not that it's going to stop me from making jokes about writing Gillenbursty. For the next comment, we have... my favorite is Nomad. Dude is pretty damn relatable with the way he acts, always done with everything. And my least favorite would be Michael, the world representative of Eden. I have seen so little about him, but every time he appears on screen, my blood boils. Yeah, I agree with your Nomad take. He's like Heke in that one of the things that makes him fun is that he's kind of a loser. He calls himself a detective, but has worked more at a food stall. Like half of his lines have to do with him being broke. Even when he showed up during the Christmas event, he had that random line about getting back his motorcycle from the pawn shop. I don't know why Husamo constantly writes in pot shots at Nomad, but I don't hate it. And yeah, Michael is definitely one of the more hated characters. I had to actually avoid comments that said they disliked him to give this video some variety, believe it or not. Rolling in with the next comment. My all-time favorite would be Behemoth. The guy is either strong or round, the best of both worlds, and his event quest shows he really just needs a hug. 10 out of 10, huggable husbando. Tadatomo isn't far behind though. For least favorites, I'm hesitating between Daikoku and Tezcatlipoca, hope I didn't misspell it, for war crimes, or Hogan for general creepiness. I agree with your round assessment. Round characters are always pretty good. It's one of the reasons why I love Agyo. Although, whenever I see them, I can't help but fight the need to just throw them against the ground to see if they bounce. As for your take on Tezcatlipoca and Daikoku, you really should expect a guy who's a part of the warmongers to be a war criminal. Although shout out to Daikoku for showing that even invaders can get in on that. Not surprised to see that this is one of the few comments to even mention Hogan. He hasn't been in the game that much, but I feel with his increased presence, you're going to see a lot more people start to dislike him. And climbing up from Yurakucho's underground is the next comment. In terms of character, my favorite was CPAC Lee, simply cause he was big and softy, funny, and I kinda love his voice, plus his 5-star AR art, which is incredible. And he also worked great with my flammable units, not to mention his event was the best. And my least favorite was that brat from Eden. If I face him again, I may just apply skill lock, double lock, and charm, then finish it off with Summer Behemoth charge attack. If that brat is still not dead yet, I still have my big bro Fushi to possess that brat. You gotta enjoy CPAC Lee, and it's good to know there's another person out there who enjoys his 5-star AR card. It's crazy how when the Citri and Fenrir AR card exists, somehow the CPAC Lee and Christine one is the horniest one in game. Citri and Fenrir's looks like a shitpost, this looks like the cover of the raunchiest doujin you've ever seen. I love it. And another Michael hate fest. Honestly, I'm a little surprised to see how many people dislike Michael. While I don't think he's inactive in the story, I just don't feel like he has a big enough presence or impact to really justify all the attention he gets. Something the next comment. I really like Lucifuge, underrated by the way, and I hate how the other tycoons get a lot more screen time than him. Plus, in my opinion, he's less obsessed over the MC compared to Ophion and Hakumen. But when it comes to people I despise, no doubt that it is Michael and Daikoku. Michael, cause he's annoying and a bratty child that deserves to get punted by everyone who meets him. And then Daikoku because he sides and backstabs anyone just to reach his goal, plus the fact that he uses others just to do the heavy lifting just irks me. Wow, another person who dislikes Daikoku and Michael.
Daring today, aren't we?
Are you beginning to understand why I had to actively seek other characters that people disliked? Anyways, I get what you mean with Michael, and of course Daikoku is a backstabbing bastard. It's his best quality. As for your likes, I agree. Least-Faveorite is a great character, but I think the reason he lags behind Hakumen and Ophion has to do with his design. Rather than being drawn attractive in like the sensual sense, Least-Faveorite is drawn to be attractive in more of the comical kind of way. I mean, look at him. He looks like handsome Squidward. And while that is nice, it's not conducive to the kind of fan art that Husamo thrives on. The next comment. I love Snow a lot. He is kind and caring, and who doesn't like people like those? As said in your video before, he is perfect Husbando material, and his interactions with player, especially in the after event of the Time Warp, so good how he acts sly. As for hate, it has to be Teromite. Now, it could be that I am missing so many things about her, but I feel she's not utilized, and her appearance in the game feels more space-takey. I know there are so many underutilized characters in the game, but Teromite has long been in the game, and the only presence I feel from her is if she spooks in my gacha rolls, especially as a 4-star. You know, I didn't see many people say that they like Snow as I would have expected. He's a very popular character, I guess he just isn't many people's first choice. Which is weird because, like you said, he has a lot of things going for him. But the Teromite dislike caught me completely by surprise, although I figured that has to do with the exact reason you dislike her. She is so underutilized that she's like barely in the game. She's one of those characters you just don't think about until she's right in front of you. Though, speaking about getting her 4-star, apparently that skill evo she got is really good. I wouldn't know though, I haven't even looked at it yet. And of course, we move on to the next comment. My favorite is Masanori. He just looks and sounds so cute. I also have an emotional attachment to him due to him being one of my first 4-stars, and I love the way he interacts with the MC in the Valentine's Fantasy SQ. Wish that were me. He's such a cutie. And since almost everyone picked Michael and Daikoku, I'm gonna have to pick someone else. That someone else will be Shuichi. He's just kind of weird to me, I don't know why. What do you mean you don't know why you dislike Shuichi? It's quite obvious. He's just really weird about his brother. It's like his defining character trait, and it puts off a lot of people. Though yeah, Masanori was actually one of my first 4-stars too. I think he was my first Infernal unit point blank. But Masanori is one of the more liked characters for an antagonist. I think a lot of it has to do with his sympathetic backstory, framing him as someone who's forced to do what he does rather than someone choosing to do wrong. And for our final comment of the day, my personal favorite would have to be Kimun Kamui. He is my exact type in being a big Bara bear, and from his event, he shows that he is real sweet and nurturing. He has been my favorite ever since his event dropped. As for my least favorite, it would have to be Hakumen. From what I have seen in the main story, she has a very haughty attitude and her artifact forces people to serve her. She also has that Ojo type character laugh that's like nails on a chalkboard to me. I get the love for Kimun Kamui. He's like a better version of Horikyu Kamui. Strong, caring, can cook, clean, actually has a personality, not boring, you know, all the good stuff. And now I can scratch my daily unneeded pot shot at Horikyu Kamui off of my to-do list, and yeah, there we go. As for Hakumen, I completely agree. She reminds me of Boa Hancock from One Piece in that just because she treats the protagonist very well, we kind of forget that, well, she's a very bad person. Like, I wouldn't put it past Hakumen to literally kick a puppy. That sounds exactly like something she'd do when the protagonist isn't looking. I know this video is a little short, but that's where I'm ending things for today. Of course, we still have to do our Patreon shoutouts. For our 3-stars, we have special thanks to 87 Werehog, Deku, Zora Chow, Tron, Garen LaFay, Dragon King Ra, Anon RC, Lightning Shadow, and Kayun. For 4 stars, we have Miki Moon and Miko, the dog and chainsaw. And for our Super D-Tuper special 5-star shoutouts, we have... First, Vanilla Flower, the rescue. Then, Poor Mage, the bruised and battered. Followed by Hodari Lion, the French kiss. Next, Sky King 64, the hero of hell. And finally, Mahaugasaur, the darkness devil. Thank you for watching. Do remember to like and subscribe. As always, I'm your host Fury, signing out.